So today we're going to open our show with our relatable mom moments. Our moments, as one would say, I have said. Okay. When I was a brand new mom, I thought that the weight, like, do you know how every size diaper has a weight range? So, like, the newborn size is like 3 to 4 pounds or, what have you. I thought those were literal. Okay. So, every single time my newborn daughter, my firstborn, would poop, she would have a blowout. Every single time. And people were like, what is wrong with her? Like, why are her poops like this? Meanwhile, she's in a diaper that's 2 size actually too small for her, because I didn't realize if you get a little bit bigger of a diaper, you have way more room. I mean, not too big. It can't be hanging off, but a little bit, like 1 size up, I've always gone. And I mean, some blowouts, I mean, you're not going to avoid them wholeheartedly.
No,
you're not going to avoid them 100%. But I have found that it greatly reduces the risk of blowouts. By my 4th go around, I've realized it.
Oh, man. So my relatable moment was when I took my firstborn to the doctor, and she was sleeping so well that she was sleeping like 14 hours a night. And
How old was she?
Maybe like 2 months.
Oh, my God.
And the doctor
Okay.
said, you are waking her up to feed her, right? And I said, oh, yes. Yes, I am, doctor. He's like, because you don't want her to get dehydrated. And I was like, of course not. That's exactly what I wake up my sleeping child in the middle of the night and I breastfeed her. No, I lied to the doctor because I thought both of us getting a good night's sleep was more important
Right.
than hydration.
Did you say of course I'm waking her how many hours? How many
Twice?
hours should I be waking her a night?
I just thought it was so silly. I'm like, I'm never waking a sleeping baby.
I know.
I've heard enough people tell me that.
I was just going to say, they tell us, don't wake a sleeping baby. But, okay, it's been 10 hours, and I'm pretty sure they're surviving. Yeah, I mean, we've all heard that, don't wake a sleeping baby. But then you're like, okay, but it's, been 10 hours, and I'm pretty sure they're surviving on nothing.
Yes,
I don't know
I was okay with that. I was not concerned. I know she's not the only baby that slept 14 hours a night.
Right.
He was an older gentleman, too,
Okay, let's preface this to say that your firstborn was never, starving. She was always on the scale.
Oh, yeah, she was always
you were not
beyond, yes.
starving your firstborn.
No.
Let's just...
All my babies were cute, chunky babies.
They were. So big. The second they came out, they were enormous. I remember trying to feed your second, and, my forearm was not enough to hold him up. My hand was barely on his little baby butt, and I couldn't, hold him up enough to also feed him with the other hand. No, this is a 2-hander.
Yeah.
I need 2 hands for this baby.
Yes, he was a big boy.
You had just gotten home from the hospital, too. It was not long.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't giant. He was just always solid. Always solid muscle since he came out of the womb.
To this day. All right. Oh, actually, if I could take a minute after our relatable moment to just say, if you are watching us on YouTube, you will have noticed this beautiful background that we now have instead of, that other one. So we love it. We love the vibe. We love the, it's just soft and nice. And I did just want to shout out Janet for, I hand ruched these curtains. Don't say anything about it. They're beautiful.
Indeed.
But Janet could ruche anything and make it beautiful. And so I just, pour one out for Janet.
There you go.
Because, we love her.
Okay, so now let's get into what this episode is all about. Have you ever opened up Instagram for a couple minutes and then somehow ended up questioning your parenting, your house, your marriage, your body, and just basically all of your life choices?
Yes.
1 minute I'm looking up a recipe for dinner, and then the next I'm wondering why another mom has matching family outfits and homemade lunches and just the perfect spotless house. It looks like a museum.
Right.
Oh, and just, enough time to train for a marathon also.
Right.
No big deal.
NBD. I mean, no hate. No hate.
No.
You do you, boo. However, and we are going to talk about this later on in the episode, but there are different things for different moms that are triggers. Not my favorite word, but it is. That is what it is about. It kind of triggers your comparison, and it's different for everybody. So we are talking today about something that almost every mom does experience and has experienced, but maybe doesn't always talk about, because, we don't want to talk about doom scrolling. We don't want to talk about that we are in a comparison trap. More specifically, how social media and cultural expectations can make us question whether we're doing enough, being enough, or somehow falling behind. Because we never feel like we're falling ahead.
Yeah, because let's face it, the truth is motherhood has always involved comparison. But social media has just, changed the game completely.
Right. And I do want to point out, too, like my mom, I have heard my mom say things like, you would always compare, like, especially if you had children around the same age, you would compare, like, where they were, like, in their milestones or what they were in school. That comparison trap is nothing new. However, it is something that is amplified, we think, by social media.
Sure.
Yeah. So one thing that I did find interesting on this research journey that we went on for our episode is that our brains are wired to evaluate kind of where we fit in our social structure. And it is also wired to kind of point out our shortcomings.
Yes, for sure. And for generations, we've compared ourselves to a relatively small group of people. And now within just a few minutes of scrolling, we have hundreds of people to compare ourselves to, and hundreds of opinions and ideas. And we just compare ourselves nonstop.
Right. Something I did read said that we compare ourselves most when we feel uncertain. And I mean, how uncertain are all of us in our motherhood?
Right.
Right? Aren't we always questioning, am I doing enough?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that today. The pressure, the expectations, the positives too, because, social media is not all bad.
No, of course not. Yep. And we're also going to dig in to where those expectations come from. Are they coming from our families? From our culture, our social media, parenting books, or are they actually coming from ourselves?
Right, so true.
So let's start with what we mean by comparison trap. So a comparison trap happens when we measure ourselves against someone else's life and then use that comparison as evidence that we are somehow falling short.
Right.
And social media gives us endless opportunities to do that.
Researchers have found that increased social comparison is associated with lower maternal confidence, increased stress, greater feelings of inadequacy, and higher rates of anxiety and depressive symptoms.
Yeah. An important thing to understand is that social media itself isn't necessarily causing those feelings.
Yeah. I mean, the issue is that we're constantly exposed to idealized versions of motherhood or homes or what be you. I mean, we're comparing our messy real life to someone else's highlight reel. And we do it dozens, maybe even hundreds of times a day without even realizing it. I mean, think about it. 2 minutes of a scroll.
It's weird because, most of us know that these pictures don't tell the whole story. But somehow our brains still absorb that message like, how is she doing so much more than I am?
And I am not doing enough. Yeah. And suddenly a quick scroll becomes a complete evaluation of your worth as a mother.
Comparison itself isn't new. Humans have always compared themselves.
Right.
We've compared ourselves to neighbors and family members and classmates and coworkers, but now we can compare ourselves to hundreds of people before breakfast.
Right. Before the coffee even goes cold. Comparison is nothing new, you're right. But comparison with social media is relatively newer. And it's never an issue that my mom or my grandmother had to deal with or navigate.
Yeah, I mean, historically, maybe you just have compared yourself to your mom and your sister and maybe a couple friends, but now you're comparing yourself to parenting influencers, nutritional experts, homeschooling moms, fitness moms, crazy organized moms that take their kids and travel all over the world all before you finished your coffee.
Yeah.
And every single one of them looks like they're excelling and just killing it in their specific lane. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to do all the lanes at once by myself and feeling like I'm failing miserably. I think I'm lucky by the time social media really took hold of the world. My kids were a little bit older, so I haven't had to I never really watched a whole lot of parenting social media.
Yeah.
More like
what's your stuff?
Old people stuff, like birds or gardening and art and cool places, true crime.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it might have saved you from at least like some of that like parental guidance overload.
For sure.
I mean, maybe, but
I think so. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. But I mean, even if you're not following parenting accounts, you're still seeing people's houses, their vacation, their achievements, like their marriages, their lives. And I'm not saying they shouldn't share those things at all, but we need to figure out what we're comparing ourselves to and how much we're allowing it to affect what we think of ourselves and how we're rating ourselves as mothers. Because the comparison opportunities are everywhere. They're endless.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter. It feels like no matter what you do as a mom, someone has an opinion about it. If you work, you're judged. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're judged. If you bottle feed, you're judged. Breastfeed, sleep train, co-sleep. If you have 1 children, 4 children, 5 children. Somebody always has something negative to say.
Right. But let's remember, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And modern mothers are often expected to be these patient, present, career-driven, organized, healthy, attractive, emotionally regulated, financially responsible, and
all the things.
The list just goes on. And somehow they want us to do all of these things at the same time. And meanwhile, like men, I mean, any boys listening to this podcast, like, can I ask you a question? Do you even feel this way? Like, do you compare yourself to other moms?
Which brings us to something sociologists call intensive motherhood, which when I was reading it, I was thinking, that just sounds like motherhood.
Right.
So it's a cultural ideology that expects mothers to be the primary self-sacrificing caregivers, dedicating immense amounts of time and energy and financial resources to their children's upbringing. This approach dictates that mothering should be completely child-centered, self-sacrificial, emotionally absorbing, and strictly guided by parenting experts. This expectation that a child's needs and development and happiness should always come before the mother's own desires, careers, personal space, and even her own happiness.
Right. But they also expect you to have all of those things. Like, they want you to put the kids first. No, wait, put your career first. No, put your kids second. No, wait, they're going to go third. Never mind, they go first, And social media just amplifies this because now every single day you're seeing these parenting experts and educational activities, meal ideas, and parenting advice all in one just endless feed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish I was a chart person.
Oh, don't we all?
How many times I have tried to be a chart person because of what I have seen other moms do online. I just think it's such a smart idea, and my whole life would change if I could just be a chart person.
Right. Motherhood feels like a full-time job that requires continuing educational credits.
Oh, while obviously the goal is to raise happy, thriving, successful children, intensive motherhood is, of course, widely linked to negative outcomes for women because the standards are practically impossible to meet. And the ideology frequently results in maternal burnout.
just chronic exhaustion and emotional depletion from constantly managing children's schedules and their emotional needs. Is that what you mean?
That's correct. Yes.
that is correct.
It also leads to persistent guilt, that feeling that mothers are always failing because no one can maintain perfect.
That's such a great, no one can maintain perfect.
And then, of course, the loss of identity, that suppression of personal ambitions and hobbies and likes and downtime in favor of just total maternal martyrdom.
Ugh. I mean, I love that phrase. I love that phrase even more. Maternal martyrdom. And it is kind of like a running joke in my family that, our mom is a martyr. But, like, if you step back, I'm like, oh, my gosh, I get it.
Yep.
I totally get it. But
wow. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah. What a gut punch, that phrase.
Yeah. Intensive motherhood just basically creates overwhelmed moms.
And it is so important to find the balance to counteract the overwhelming pressure of intensive mothering. Many mental health professionals advocate for setting firm boundaries. Do you remember we talked about this? No one likes setting boundaries, but like we're all learning. So this could include sharing caregiving responsibilities with your partners, allowing children unstructured independence rather than constant enrichment, and redefining a good mother as one who is emotionally present but also still a human. And I have started doing this thing where I tell my children, like, it's cool that you're bored. They're like, Mom, I'm bored. I'm like, cool.
That's okay.
Go find something to do. Something. Yeah. It's like creativity has to be born out of somewhere.
Yeah. So now let's talk about information overload, because moms are constantly receiving messages about sleep training, breastfeeding, discipline, nutrition, screen time, schools, just everything.
And the strange thing is that you would think that more information would make you more confident.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because the more you know.
I feel like that does not apply. It does. I feel like sometimes it does the opposite. I have Pinterested parenting advice.
Oh, sure.
I have been like, how do I make my children less spoiled? But a simple question like, should I do this or should I do that? Anything regarding motherhood can generate hundreds of just these competing opinions. And somehow you just end up more confused than when you started. It almost makes you wish that you didn't start.
Yeah, and we are already constantly talking about the mental load that moms have already and how it's just way more than enough. And mental load is all of the invisible planning, all the remembering and anticipating and organizing that keeps a household running.
Right.
And then adding comparison on top of that already full mental load is just another great combination for a mentee bee.
Right. So a lot of moms describe opening social media for like a break. You want to turn your brain off, but you wind up leaving that social media break with a way longer to-do list.
Yeah, with anxiety.
With anxiety to boot. But, like, oh my gosh, I saw that cute snack my kid might like.
Yeah, I want to redo my whole closet and make it like a bench coat area.
I want to do something by my front door so badly.
Yeah,
and in my dining room.
Yep, I should be doing more.
Yeah.
Let's shift into culture, because culture shapes motherhood more than we realize. That message starts long before we become moms.
Right.
Things like family expectations, movies and television, your religion, your personal values, your community values, previous generations in your household. All of these things contribute to how we raise our children.
Yeah, I think it...
Or how we live our life.
And that saying, it takes a village means something very different depending on where you grew up. Like some cultures have grandparents heavily involved every day. I mean, that's how I grew up. And other cultures and families expect parents to do almost everything without help.
Yeah, I mean, many of us inherit beliefs like good mothers don't complain. The house should always be clean. Children should always come first.
Yeah. Children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like this trifecta, like you have these three things that are affecting what you're valuing as a mother, right? So what are your expectations of yourself from these three things? You know, what do you want to take? What do you want to leave? Because leaving things are also an expectation that we put on ourselves. Like, I won't do this like they did this. Or, you know, fill in the blanks. So the first thing is your family culture growing up. The second thing is whatever modern parenting standards are at the moment, you know, the 90s culture, let your kids do what they want, or, you know, give your kids a ton of structure. And then you have the third thing, which is social media culture that you're just constantly exposed to and maybe even subliminally comparing yourself to. So the question is, which of my expectations as a mother are actually mine? And which ones did I inherit from my upbringing? Or which ones did I see on social media that I liked? Or read in a parenting book that I really wanted to try?
That's such a good question, because a lot of us are carrying expectations that we never consciously chose. And these expectations are like an invisible scorecard for ourselves. Like, did I spend enough time with my kids? Was I patient enough?
Failed. I failed.
Did I work enough? Did I do enough? Was I home enough?
Yeah. Is the house clean enough? And the problem is there's always another category where you could have done more.
Yeah. So let's end on what we can actually take away from all of this.
Because social media isn't all bad. Research shows that it can provide community, support, validation, and reduce isolation. I mean, that's literally what we're doing here. We're, you know, trying to create this community so people feel less alone.
Yeah, social media is definitely a main way that I keep in touch with people. It's a great way to keep in touch with people that we naturally lose touch with. I mean, I gotta say, Facebook alone is like the number one birthday reminder for myself for sure, if not the world. So that's a positive for sure. I mean, I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so keeping track of birthdays is not natural for me. So Facebook really saves me there every year.
So, I mean, growing up a Jehovah's Witness, if we could just caveat, did you ever have a birthday, or like did you celebrate? There was nothing to celebrate, like you didn't celebrate it at home, like with
no,
anything?
It was just a normal day.
Okay,
yeah,
I do remember you saying that your mom would take you on like special little dates, though, when a classmate would have a birthday.
So for like I remember for Valentine's Day, she would take me out like halfway through the day when they were going to do like the Valentine's cards stuff. So she would take me and we would like go grab something to eat or something.
But that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like, growing up, I never felt like, I mean, I wish I had birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, but I never really felt that bad for myself. It was just normal,
right?
You know,
it was just your way of life.
I usually never felt bad or mad,
like left out.
Yeah, it was usually fine.
And I think it's nice that your mom replaced that with time for the two of you.
Yeah,
or maybe like you and your brother. I don't know what. You know,
I don't remember
how it ever worked out, but we're so old we don't remember.
So long ago.
So let me ask you this for research purposes. Do you think that has shaped how you do things as a mom? And I'm specifically asking about like holidays.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Obviously Christmas is like my favorite time of year for the rest of my life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in Jill's house around Christmas time,
I threw up Christmas everywhere.
You walk in and just Christmas pictures on the walls everywhere. Not of people, of course, but you know, like a reindeer or a snowman, and it just looks so nice.
I can't have enough Christmas decorations.
But it does. Love it. Jillian, it looks great.
Thank you.
You do a phenomenal job. I just wanted to say that.
It is the only holiday I decorate for.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the easiest. I feel like it's a really easy one to decorate.
That's true.
So, yeah, you know, I said this earlier, but we all have different things that make us feel like we're in a comparison trap. You know, there's things that will trigger comparison.
Right. So how can we pay more attention to that?
So that's a great question. But I would think that the first thing is simply just be aware of what triggers that comparison trap for you. So for some moms, it might be like parenting accounts. But for another mom, it could be a fitness influencer, or an organization influencer. I know that is your weakness.
It is.
Or like a clean talk,
Yes.
like these moms that have these perfectly clean homes.
Yeah. I think many of us assume social media affects everyone in the same way, but I don't think it does. Like one mom might feel inspired by a meal planning account while another will find it just make you feel, while another will, can you go up?
Do it up.
I think a lot of us assume social media affects everyone in the same way.
Right.
But it doesn't. One mom might feel inspired by a meal planning account while another will feel inadequate every time she sees it.
Yeah, like my meals are not enough.
No, they're not.
But a good question to ask is, how do I feel after spending time on this account? Do I feel encouraged or informed or entertained, or does it make me feel anxious or guilty or like I'm falling short? I don't have enough of that. But pay attention, because your emotional response tells you a lot. I have definitely had to unfollow accounts.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes not even because of anything that they did wrong. Like they didn't say anything I didn't like. It was just I found myself comparing myself and wanting to do more because I was following this account.
Right.
Like especially the homeschooling ones. That is very difficult.
I bet. Yeah. But listen, here's another mindset shift that can help. Different doesn't mean better. Sometimes we see another mom doing something differently and automatically assume that she's doing it right or better.
Right.
But not necessarily. Maybe she packed elaborate lunches or homeschools, or she runs marathons, and that's great for her. But her choices are not a report card on my choices.
Right.
There are so many ways to be a wonderful mom. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Right. There is no cookie cutter perfect mom. And what works for one family might not work for another. Success in motherhood isn't about becoming a copy of someone else.
So how do we break free from comparison traps?
Good question.
So we can curate our feeds. So what do you want more of on your feed? Go search it up over and over every day for a week and see how much your algorithm changes. You curated your feed. It's 100% tailored to what you want.
Yeah.
So the beautiful part is you have the power to at least change that part.
Right.
Change what you consume to something positive. So one strategy that I have been using is to set specific times to check social media instead of just opening it at every free second.
Right.
Because even small boundaries can make a big difference. Micro boundaries, okay?
Would one also call them micro steps?
Yes.
Refer back to a previous podcast episode.
Yeah, and I even have a friend who removed all social media apps from her phone, and she only checks it when she goes on the laptop.
Wow.
The goal isn't necessarily to eliminate all of social media. It's just to use it intentionally instead of letting it use you.
And
one of my favorites is practice gratitude. In my house, we have quite a few gratitude journals. We kind of fall off, and I start it up again, and then we fall off again, and then I start it up again. But, I'm trying.
But at least you're trying.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Is the reason that you have multiple family gratitude journals is because you keep stopping and starting new ones?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I just wanted to know.
Yep. So it's simple, but I feel like it is effective. When I find myself comparing, I intentionally look at what's going well in my life. So not in like a forced way, but in a grounding way.
Right. Kind of like forcing yourself to it's not that bad.
Yes. Yeah.
And it could be something simple, like your baby gave you a little spontaneous hug.
Or maybe your teenager opened up about something important, or maybe everyone made it to school on time. These little moments matter. Take those wins.
Or maybe you just didn't commit a felony.
Those are good days too.
That is a win. So count your blessings.
So stop looking at what you don't have and look at what you do have.
And most importantly, trust your instincts. A lot of time we second guess ourselves because of what we see or all of the information we're getting. But, you also have that maternal instinct, and we know our children best. And I know you and I were talking about this because we've had similar experiences with our second-borns. My firstborn was the perfect firstborn. She slept in her bassinet when she was supposed to. I moved her out of my room when I was supposed to, and she was thriving. And then my second-born came and, she came in and just, threw everything upside down. And she would never sleep. I mean, baby girl, but barely blinked. And I didn't know about, getting a baby carrier because, you spoil them if you hold them too much. And I didn't even think about co-sleeping because that was a no-no. We're not allowed to do that. But she would only sleep if I was holding her or laying with her. And I just remember struggling so hard, just from sheer sleep deprivation that it made the whole experience just so much harder.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think probably my biggest regret in my entire life is not co-sleeping with my second.
Oh my gosh. And that's saying something because it was hard.
Yeah. I wish I would have listened to myself. I knew he needed to sleep with me, but I just, the parenting books and everybody telling you, don't let your child sleep with you. They'll never sleep alone.
Right.
I thought I was doing the right thing, and I really, really, it's my biggest regret in my whole life.
Yeah. It really cost you a lot of your mental health. I mean, me included, it cost me a lot of my mental health. And
I lost a ton of sleep.
Yeah.
So did my child. And I mean, how can that be good for a child to just be crying all the time? It just doesn't make any sense.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I vowed.
So trust your gut for sure.
I vowed not to do that with my third.
Same.
When I told my husband, I was like, nope, I am sleeping on the couch with this baby because we had recliners. It would just, the setup was so much better than if I had slept in bed. So, I did that for my third, and I did that for my fourth. And darn it, I've never gotten more sleep as a mom.
Right. Yeah.
Than co-sleeping. And I will say, too, that something that I heard, it was actually pertaining to homeschooling, but they were saying about, your child not reading yet and being at a certain age. And they're they're not going to go to college not being able to read, relax. And I've really kind of translated that into my parenting. It doesn't, just because they're sleeping in your bed doesn't mean they're going to sleep in your bed forever.
Right.
Or I'm not going to sleep on the couch with them forever. No. I'm just doing what I know as their mom that they need. And I think
for
that
your child and for yourself.
So I think that we should have definitely, I know it was definitely a time where you and I both wish that we would have listened to ourselves.
Yes.
And just another thing too is, if we're talking about comparison, I've compared myself to a lot of real life people, people in inner mom circles. So your kids are the same age, so you just happen to be together all the time, And this other mom, she had girls, and I had 2 girls at the time, almost 3. I didn't know she was a girl yet, but I had if not 3 girls at the time. And she did this thing where she journaled with all of her kids, and she was saying how she had so many kind of open up moments with her daughters that way. And I was like, wow, what a great thing. But my children were so young, it didn't work for us. Have you ever had another mom that you were either friends with or around that said something that you were like, oh, nope, got to start doing that?
A big one for me is I always wanted to make the birthday parties really good, but we never had any money when the kids were young. Ugh. And so, man, I would just Pinterest my heart out and try and DIY everything. And sometimes it would come out good, and sometimes it was very DIY. But it looks so perfect online.
Jillian,
so easy.
You threw killer parties.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, you were a gracious host, and your decorations were amazing.
Well, Christmas, obviously.
Well, not just Christmas, but I feel like even your DIY stuff was great.
You think so?
Yes, I think you Pinterest your heart out for a reason.
There you go.
Thank you, Pinterest.
Thank you.
Another thing that I noticed, too, is that for other families, they have their set schedules, and they just that works for their children, that works for their family, and their kids wake up at this time and they go to bed at this time and they eat at this time. And I'm like, I can't get dinner on the table any sooner than 7, and I'm home all day. I'm not saying I do nothing all day.
Well, your kids are very young.
Yes, but even though I'm not doing nothing all day, I still can't get dinner on the table. Doesn't make any sense.
I was at your house, I don't know, a week ago or so. Just your youngest son.
It was just my youngest.
And I thought to myself, God, you forget that they literally need you every moment of the day. Every single moment. Yeah. And you've got 4 young ones at home. So, like, you're not doing anything. I know it feels like it, but they need you every moment. And as, my kids get older, like, I forget how much time it really takes and how much it takes out of you.
Yeah, it's like never being able to sit down for a moment.
Yeah, never having a moment to yourself.
Yeah. So, like, but in times like that, like, a set schedule doesn't work for me because then I just put myself on a timer.
Yes, yeah.
And then I get you got more anxiety. Like, oh, now I'm behind.
Yeah, you got to do what works for you. You got naps to worry about. Multiple children napping.
It took me years though to realize that not having a schedule is just great. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the truth is that every mom has challenges and insecurities and moments when she wonders if she's doing enough. Even the moms who have it all together on social media.
Mm. So if social media has been making you feel like you're falling behind, please remember that your worth as a mom is not measured by likes, followers, clean kitchens, matching outfits, and perfectly curated photos.
No, it's measured in the countless acts of love and patience and sacrifice and care that happen when nobody is watching. So I wonder, what would motherhood look like for us if we stopped measuring ourselves against strangers online? Maybe we'd realize we're doing a lot better than we think.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us today. Please make sure you subscribe on YouTube and social media or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, keep raising them and don't forget to find yourself. Bye.